Does the media know how fake, delusional, and hypocritical they are, or do they actually think they're doing real journalism and science? I'm not sure, but let's take a look. New York Times a few months ago, honking horns, dancing in the streets. One man popped open a bottle of champagne in the middle of a Brooklyn block. The news that President-elect Joe Biden has defeated President Trump sparked celebrations across New York City, the president's hometown. A rollicking New York City celebration for Biden's win well into the night. Isn't that just nice? Let's check out Florida, which has a Republican governor. After the Super Bowl win, thousands of people crowded the streets of Tampa, Florida after the Buccaneers beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Videos show many revelers not wearing masks and ignoring social distancing. In Tampa, Super Bowl celebrations bring super spreader concerns. Oh no! They were very upset that Tom Brady was not wearing a mask. Molly Jong Fast, Florida is going to kill us all! Conditioning people to think human interaction and human joy is deadly. But just a couple days ago, mass gatherings in Moscow, of course for a political agenda she does agree with. This is amazing. Isn't it just so beautiful and amazing how liberal journalists love mass gatherings when it's for their political agenda, but when it's politically advantageous to do otherwise, they screech, scream, and act hysterical? Yashar Ali during the BLM protests. This is really beautiful footage of the protests in Los Angeles yesterday. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. Lori Lightfoot, this is a great day for our city and our country. We are taking our democracy back. Biden-Harris 2020. Out in the streets. How nice of her. Then as soon as it's over, stay home unless it's for essential reasons. Stop having guests over, including family members you do not live with. Avoid non-essential travel. Cancel traditional Thanksgiving plans. Right, of course. We're all equal. Except some are more equal than others. Mary Trump responded to Molly's post and says, DeSantis needs to be charged with crimes against humanity. Wow, those are strong words. At what point do elected officials who refuse to mandate mask wearing during a pandemic that has killed, of course she doesn't even spell it right, almost 500,000 Americans become criminally liable? Wow, these people are so disgusting. What about the overdose deaths outnumbering COVID-19 deaths more than 3-1 in San Francisco? Does she care about that? Of course not. If she's so concerned about COVID deaths, why do they never point out that New York and New Jersey are still leading the country in deaths per capita, far exceeding Florida? It's been that way for months. I've pointed it out and gotten censored for doing so. These people want to enslave you, make you miserable, take away joy, everything, even if they do 20 times worse than what you're doing. Of course, psychologically and mentally abusing the country, in some cases physically abusing the country by closing down gyms and making people fatter inside. Oh, that's really good for your health. And suggesting criminally charging governors that are doing a far better job than Andrew Cuomo, the crime of not treating their citizens like animals. What a joke these people are. To keep the hypocrisy rolling, let's go to USA Today. Josh Peter, thousands of fans, many without masks, flood Tampa streets after Buccaneers win Super Bowl 55. Many did not appear to be wearing masks. In the article, what many didn't bring to the impromptu celebration was masks. There was little signs of masks. But this same author, Josh Peter, just a few months ago when the Lakers won, not with a Republican governor like Florida, but with a liberal governor like Gavin Newsom, the same exact writer said, Laker fans party outside Staples Center to celebrate NBA title. One of the good things of 2020. Isn't that just nice? Wow. Fireworks exploded. Horns blared. Purple and gold rained. It's been a decade since the Los Angeles Lakers won their championship, but their fans haven't forgot how to party. Thousands spilled into the streets near Staples Center on Sunday night, and the festivities began shortly after the Lakers beat the Miami Heat. The pandemic couldn't dampen the mood, with many of the revelers wearing masks, if not adhering to social distancing guidelines. The scene was mostly peaceful, but beyond boisterous. Wow, that's so nice. He just reports it's so great they're wearing masks. They're just all listening. Oh my goodness. Except for the fact I think he left out that the LAPD arrested 76 people as Lakers fans celebrated, and more than 30 buildings and businesses were also damaged. You can see people not wearing masks in this picture, but who cares? Because Josh Peter just is such a fair, honest journalist who's really just concerned about the pandemic and the mask mandate. What a joke these people are. And their new plan is to try to label every peaceful protester a domestic terrorist from here on out. Anybody that questions their obvious lies, their obvious agenda, they're going to try to tie you into groups that you have nothing to do with. Take a look. This is from the LA Times. Newsom recall efforts has ties to extremists. Groups helping to collect the needed signatures include QAnon believers and Proud Boys. It has over 1 million signatures, so it includes all sorts of California citizens, including left left-wing progressive Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks. Take a look.
I was born and raised in California. I love my state. I love the people in the state. But it is an absolute wasteland right now. Every freeway bridge is full of people living in tents. There's excrement on our sidewalks. It's unsafe. Crime has gone up. And when it comes to coronavirus, I mean, the fish rots from the head down. Let me just mention that while Americans are encouraged to shelter in place, encouraged to practice social distancing, no eating indoors at restaurants, you know, he was seen at the French Laundry meeting up with his lobbyist buddies. That is unacceptable. I have not seen competent leadership from Gavin Newsom, and I will state on this show, every single member of my family signed our names, provided our signatures to recall him.
Wow. Okay. Well, look, I guess I'll take his position.
But if you could find a group that they don't like within millions of people, which obviously you can, then they're going to try to deceive people with it. For instance, I have over 600 million views, so a lot of different people like me on all sides of politics, all sorts of groups, over 600 million views. My videos are being watched every second, every minute. I'm very blessed. God is great. But their new scheme is to make people believe that peaceful, honest, accurate, fair, logical, scientific truth is somehow an incitement to violence and can tie you into domestic terrorism. But left-wing politicians and people talk like this. They have no problem talking like this.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
Yeah, but that's normal. But you disagreeing with the lockdowns or their hypocrisy over the mask mandate or their terrible journalism or their double standards or their new treatment of treating us like total slaves and animals? Tampa's Democrat mayor even suggests that law enforcement will handle those in the streets who didn't wear a mask and they should be identified. Oh, wow. America's clearly not a free country anymore. Did you ever think that breathing air was going to be an act of rebellion? That's what happens when Big Brother government gets too much power. Convincing us that social interaction and human interaction is the worst thing in the world when it's actually healthy and good for you. Obviously, it's not healthy to just live a life of isolation and misery. But if you have joy on Thanksgiving, you're the problem. Yes, they're trying to ban joy. These are sick people. Ex-news host Dan Rather even went so far as to say, is it responsible having commercials showing people gathering in large groups without masks? So not only do they not want you to gather in large groups without masks, they don't even want you to see it on television. This is just straight up psychological abuse. These people are sick in the head. These people are totally evil. These people don't want you to be able to question them. They want to threaten you and scare you by trying to tie you into stuff you have nothing to do with and claim that your words are equivalent to other stuff it has nothing to do with. Meanwhile, they use the military to protect themselves. They convince you on TV that walls, borders, and guns don't work. They're racist. They're horrible. But then they protect themselves with walls, guns, and borders because they're total hypocrites. They're total liars. They're totally power drunk. They're totally tyrannical. And anybody who questions them or calls them out is deemed a threat to their tyranny. They don't want you to be able to peacefully disagree with them. They're treating us like slaves. I am not a slave. I am not an animal. I am not going to walk around the rest of my life with 2 masks on. It's evil. And of course, there are psychological consequences to what they're doing. Even the World Economic Forum admitted in April of 2020, lockdown is the world's biggest psychological experiment and we will pay the price. Of course we will. Mentally, with suicides, with opioid abuse, with depression, with fear-mongering, fear which lowers your immune system and weakens your body. Fear is not healthy. But these health experts and news outlets have no problem. Fear, 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 division, fear, fear, fear. They're evil people, and they don't want you to say that they're evil, but they are. And they think that they could just nickel and dime you into slavery, depression, and total submission, and any action to defend yourself and just simply peacefully say, stop doing this. It's not right. You're not following the science. You don't even follow your own science. I've read delusional articles in mainstream news that I've talked about before of science experts baffled at their own hypocrisy, trying to figure out why they were so critical of anti-lockdown protesters earlier last year, but then when the Black Lives Matter protests and riots and mass gatherings came, all of a sudden they just couldn't fathom why they didn't feel the same way scientifically. Literally, they're writing mainstream articles trying to dive into their own sick, hypocritical mind, figuring out why they're such deceitful liars. But we really only have ourselves to blame for allowing them to do this, because when a majority of people don't call out the hypocrisy and just eat it up and buy that media and consume it, thinking it's really woke because they don't like Trump or something, that's how we get ourselves into this mess. So let's free ourselves, free our mind, and call out these goofy, clowny hypocrites for putting politics and psychological abuse over health, truth, and liberty. Thanks so much for watching my videos. Have a beautiful day. And if you'd like to support t.me/DreamRareChat, sign up on my Telegram, patreon.com/RareTalk. I appreciate everybody there. That's the reason I'm able to do what I do. Not every video gets monetized. I don't sell ads like a lot of people, and I don't have promo codes. So without patreon.com/RareTalk, I would have to do more of that. If enough people keep supporting there and on Facebook supporter and such, then I won't have to do that. DreamRare.com, I also have some shirts and hats, more coming soon. And stayintouchwithme.com, my free email list. Thank you guys so much. God bless you, and have a beautiful week. I'll be back with more videos soon.